I'm Diane Connell. I teach 4th grade at Deer Creek School, and my 4th graders are fabulous readers, and they would love to share with you a 2-minute spot from their favorite reading book. So please enjoy.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm going to read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Once there was 4 children whose names were Peter, Suzanne, Edmund, and Lucy. This story is about something that happened to them when they were sent away from London during the war because of the air raids. They were sent to the house of an old professor who lived in the heart of a country, 10 miles near the nearest railway station and 2 miles from the nearest post office. He had no wife and lived in a very myriad of 3 servants. Their names were Ivy, Margaret, and Betty, but they did not come into the story much. He himself was a very old man with shaggy white hair, which grew over most of his face as well as his head. And then, almost at once, the first evening he came to meet the front door, he was an odd looking like that Lucy, who was the youngest, was a little afraid of him, and Edmund, who was the next youngest, wanted to laugh and had to keep on pretending he was blowing his nose to hide it. As soon as they had said good night to the professor, they had gone upstairs on the first night. The boys came into the girls' room and they had all talked it over. We've fallen on our feet, and no mistake, said Peter. This is going to be perfectly splendid. That old chap will let us do anything we like. I think he's a dear old man, said Susan. Oh, come off of it, said Edmund. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to find out what happens next, check this book at your local library. Hi, I'm Shannon Nettles, and I'm going to read The Shoeshine Girl. The train stopped at Palmville, and Sarah Ida had a sudden thought. What if she didn't get off? What if she just rode on till the end of the line? Maybe she could find a place where everything was new and she could start all over again. But people would ask questions. How old are you? Only 10 and a half? What are you doing here all by yourself? Someone would be sure to find her and bring her back. Anyway, it was too late. Aunt Claudia had already seen her. Aunt Claudia was at the station looking through the train window and waving her thin hand. Sarah Ida picked up her suitcase. Here, little lady, I'll help you with that, said the porter. I can carry it myself, she said, and she dragged it off the train. Aunt Claudia gave her a kiss that smelled like cough drops. Then they took a taxi. They rode through town, and Aunt Claudia talked. You've grown, but I knew you the minute I saw you. You've got your mother's pretty brown eyes, but you've got your father's jaw. Look over there. That's our new supermarket. Things may seem quiet to you here after the city, but I think you'll like Palmville. It's getting to be quite a city, too. Sarah Ida said nothing. We're on Grand Avenue, said Aunt Claudia. It's the main street. The taxi turned off the avenue and stopped in front of a square gray house. Thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to see the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Barbara Sanders, and I'm going to be reading the twisted version of The Gingerbread Man, which I wrote myself. Hi, I'm the Gingerbread Man. You've probably heard my story, but guess what? Not the real one. You'll have to understand, the nice folks who baked me actually made two. I guess you could call her an evil twin. I suppose I'm the good one because I was baked first. So yeah, I'm the original, gumdrop buttons and all. Well, anyway, we were in the oven when the buzzer went off, and she took me out of the oven and set us on the cooling rack. That's when we came to life. Once we were on our feet, the gingerbread girl took a piece of her licorice hair and tied me up and stuffed an M&M in my mouth. Then she locked me in the cupboard. Then she ran outside. The woman left the door open. And then she started a riot. I chewed up the M&M and started to listen. I could hear her saying, "Try to run until you hurl. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread girl." I could also hear a mob after her. I was thinking, what if she ran into a bear? After all, we each have 3 teaspoons of honey. I chewed through the licorice ropes, unlocked the cupboard, went to the bedroom, and looked through the window. Sure enough, she was talking to a bear. I couldn't make out what they were saying, but the gingerbread girl looked frightened. The next thing I knew, they were both turned around and I couldn't see anything. I was just looking at the bear's back. Then the bear turned back around and I saw cookie crumbs all around his lips. So I'm the only gingerbread man left. And I think I'm starting to mold. Ew, what's that smell? Oh no! Thank you for listening to me read.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'd like to read to you Attaboy Sam. What on earth are you doing, Sam? Mrs. Krupnick stood at the doorway staring at her son. Sam looked up. Moms were sometimes very strange, she thought. They always asked you what you were doing, even though they could see what you were doing. Once, when he was younger and naughtier, Sam found it interesting to unroll toilet paper. He knew that he wasn't supposed to, but every time he wandered past the bathroom and glanced and saw that roll of toilet paper hanging there, it was dangling, dazzling that way he couldn't seem to stop himself. He would have to go on and unroll it. If he got it just right, he could stop, twirl it around, and very fast set the paper and make it go all around on the wall and the floor. And it was wonderfully interesting to him. And always, whenever he did, his mom would appear at the bathroom doorway saying, "Sam, what on earth are you doing?" He could never figure it out. What did she think he was doing? Taking a bath? Brushing his teeth? Today, though, he wasn't unrolling toilet paper. He was much too old to do that baby thing. Like today, he wasn't even in the bathroom. He was in the study, his dad's study, that he had looked over his mother, who was still in the doorway. He patiently, even though he was quite certain she knew exactly what he was doing. I'm typing. She came across the room and stood behind him, looking over behind his shoulder. "My goodness," she said, "you really are." Good, she didn't sound angry. She surrounded Sam surprised. Sam didn't know what his mom was doing, but he was typing. His father's typewriter here in the study was a fascinating thing. And his dad had shown him once he had rolled a piece of toilet paper, then puts the keys with the letters on them. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the end of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, I'm Ben Menzies, and I'm going to read Hank the Cowdog, number 38, The Fling. Another car came along, this one from the other direction. The driver didn't see us until the last second. He hit his brakes, smoked his tires on the pavement, and brought the car to a stop just inches away from us. Ralph's eyes brightened with, I don't know what, some kind of devilish delight, I suppose. And though I had known Ralph for quite a while, I'd never seen this side of him before. He chuckled and gave me a wink. That was a good one, wasn't it? The driver stuck his head out the window and blew his horn. Get out of the road! road, you idiots! What do you think this is, a parking lot for mutts? I'm calling the dog catcher! With that, he rolled away, leaving us to roast in his angry glare. I turned back to Ralph. That guy was pretty mad. Yep, drives him nuts me sitting in the middle of the road. And you think this is fun, right? Yep, and you know what else? Cass glanced over my shoulders, just in case another car was coming. No, I don't know what else. What else? His eyes, usually so sad and dull, were sparkling. There's funner stuff yet to come. The fling is started. Jimmy Joe will be after us any minute now. I moved myself out of the road and sat on the curb. In that case, I'll be leaving soon. To be perfectly honest, I think this is a little weird. Another car zoomed past, missing Ralph by inches. Ralph, you're gonna get smashed. What's the point of all this? He joined me at the curb, his ears dragging on the ground and his toenails clicking on the pavement. The point is, I get tired of being a good dog, so I bust out and do naughty things. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to learn how Hank gets out of this mess, so check it out at your local library. Hi, my name is Zach Duggan, and I'm going to be reading Harry the Poisonous Centipede. Okay. Chapter 1, about Harry. Harry was a poisonous centipede. You may think that's not a very nice thing to be, but Harry thought it was fine. He'd never been anything else, and he liked being what he was. If you told him centipedes were nasty, scary, creepy collies, he would have been very surprised and rather hurt. And if you told him that biting things with poison pincers was wrong and cruel, he would have probably told you to not be ridiculous. How else would he get anything to eat or defend himself from creatures that wanted to eat him? Of course, you couldn't have talked to Harry like that, even if you'd met him, because he couldn't have understood you. Harry could only speak to other centipedes in centipedish. In fact, his real name wasn't Harry at all. It was, as really as I can write it, his weevil. His weevil? Yes, you can see the problem at once. There are no vowels in centipedish. It's just sort of a faint, very faint crackling. What could you do in this to put some vowel sounds, some A's, some E's, I's, O's, and U's, so that you can try and say his real name? Then you could call him His a Little or Hogs a While. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of this story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, I'm Michael LeDuc, and I'm going to read Garfield Hams It Up. The National Cat Channel presents Ed the Wonder Cat in the action-adventure Airballs from Outer Space. Not every cat can wear tights.
This book contains many great insights into life.
And when you connect the dots, it forms a picture of a bunny.
That was a terrible day. We went to the circus. A clown accused me for copying his suit.
How low can a clown stoop?
A letter from home. Your family never forgets. Dear Ron. Ouch.
Oh, Odie, can we talk? You always had that one stupid smile on your face. Give me something new. Nope. 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 And nope. Who am I to mess with imperfection?
Slick and streamlined. The cat's lightning reflexes make him a formidable hunter.
It's the off season, okay?
It's cute the way a cat will playfully bat a ball of yarn around.
Bam, 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 bam.
Maybe cute isn't the right word. When stroke. How to start a cat. Here, Garfield, for you.
A catnip mouse.
Hold my calls. Man, aren't you a cute little kitty? Yes, you are.
Meow. Got his gum. Thank you for listening to me read. And if you want to find out more about Garfield, check it out at your local library.
Hello, my name is Kate Priest, and I'm going to read Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. Lily loved school. She loved the pretty, pointy pencils. She loved the squeaky chalk. And she loved the way her boots went clickety-clickety-clop down the long, shiny hallways. Lily loved the privacy of her own desk. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom. And most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts. He wore more glasses on a chain around his neck. And he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just about all she could say was wow. Instead of greeting students or good morning pupils, Mr. Slinger winked and said howdy. He thought that desks in a row were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think that you can handle a circle? And he always provided the most tasty snacks that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother, Julie. Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of Gillette's picture encyclopedia. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon, or an ambulance driver, or a dancer, said her father. It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Whenever the students had free time, they permitted to go to the light bulb lab. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at the local library.
My name's Nicole Hamilton, and I'm going to be reading The Amazing Days of Abby Hayes. Abby opened her eyes to walls of calendars. There were big ones and small ones, glossy photographs, and black and white drawings. Calendars from many of the states and quite a few countries, as well as calendars for every holiday, hobby, or interest. Calendars greeted her every morning when she woke up and were the last thing she saw at night. The best thing about Abby's room was that she never got bored because the calendars changed about every 30 days. Her room was like an animal that shed its skin each month to become another creature. I have to find a World Cup soccer calendar. Abby thought sleepily. She rolled over, turned on the light, and grabbed her notebook from the table next to her bed. Plan for today. Do 12 sit-ups before breakfast. Run around the block 20 times. Don't stop to talk with friendly neighbors. Eat healthy food. No donuts. No chocolate bars. Smile sweetly when Super Sid Eva tells how she scored for her team. Nod wisely when Super Sid Isabel lectures about War of Roses. Question: why not War of Dandelions or geraniums? Ignore twins fighting. Be kind to your younger brother, Alex. Play chess with him when he asks. It's not his fault that he wins every game. Be a good loser. Abby threw back the covers and stretched. She climbed out of bed and opened her bureau drawer. Today she was going to wear one of her favorite outfits, cargo pants and a striped tank top. She laid the clothes on the bed, then picked up a small white box that she had hid under some t-shirts. Inside was a pair of gold hoop earrings. Wish for today, pierced ears. How can I convince Mom to let me get them? It was the first day of 5th grade, or as her best friend Jessica put it, the first day of the last year of elementary school. Their teacher was Mrs. Cantor. She had transferred from another school in the district. Abby picked up her journal. Bad. I don't know who Mrs. Cantor is. Good. She doesn't know who I am or who my family is. Thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to hear how the story ends, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name's Rebecca Holman, and I'm going to be reading Dear America, A Journey to a New World. October 1st, 1620, morning, Mayflower, 1,150 mile sails. Ma'am, that's what I answer to. 'Tis short for remember, my full name being Remember Patience Whipple. Patience was to be my first name, but ma'am, my mother decided it was wrong. I was squally and impatient. They wanted, however, to remember my mother's dear sister who had just passed on. So they slipped the patience in between. For some it is a good first name. For me it is better as in a between name. Ma'am says I am more patient than I once was, but I still have a far way to go. I am 12 years old. Maybe by the time I am full grown, say 15, I shall be patient. We are journeying to the new world. It is in the Mayflower that is getting us there slowly. She measures 90 feet in length and 25 feet in breadth. And at her broadest point, she is a strong, steady ship, but a plodding one as she creaks her way across the vast gray Atlantic Sea. The reason for our journey is our religion. You see, we are not the Pope's people, nor the King's really, but God's people. We are saints of the holy discipline. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to read more, check it out at your library.
Hi, my name is Tara Jackson, and I'm going to be reading Across the Wide and Lonesome Prairie, the Oregon Trail Diary of Hattie Campbell. Boonville, Missouri, January 15th, 1847, Friday. Sleet and rain. Ma said that because today is my birthday and I may have 2 slices of chocolate cake. So I did. After supper, she gave me a blue satin ribbon for my braid. Then when Pa went to bed, she let me unwrap another gift. It was a camisole with a matching lace petticoat. Since I'm now 13 years of age, Ma said it's proper for me to have pretty underthings. Aunt June agreed. Then she gave me this journal. She said every young lady must have a place to record her private thoughts. I will try to do so. Still raining. Our roof is leaking upstairs over the hallway and in my room, foot of my bed. I've moved the pot there to catch the drips. I hide this diary under my pillow, but take it out often to look at it. I love the smell of its coarse paper, and I've decided to use my new hair ribbon as a bookmark. The blue looks pretty lying across the page. February 2nd, 1847, Tuesday. 3 nights ago, my poor Uncle Milton fell off our roof while he was helping Pa fix a leak. He died right there in the barnyard. There's nothing we could do. His funeral was today, one of the most interesting days in a very long time. It all started when his coffin fell out the side of our hay wagon and slid down the bank into the river. Ma held the horses while Pa went after the
coffin through the mud and weeds. I hurried after Pa, but my skirt caught in the brush. He grabbed the coffin and had his arms around it to haul it up, but just then a St. Louis steamboat rounded the bend with its big paddles churning up the water and making the waves higher than Pa's head. He held on tight, but all of a sudden he floated out into those waves like a cork, me and Ma screaming for help. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear how the story ends, you can check it out at your local library.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Hadley, and I'm going to read Fantastic Mr. Fox by Ronald Dahl. Down in the valley, there were 3 farms. The owners of these farms had done well. They were rich men. They were also nasty men. All 3 of them were about as nasty and mean as any man you could meet. Their names were Farmer Boggis, Farmer Bunce, and Farmer Bean. Boggis was a chicken farmer. He kept thousands of chickens. He was enormously fat. This was because he ate 3 boiled chickens smothered with dumplings every day for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Bunce was a duck and goose farmer. He kept thousands of ducks and geese. He was the kind of pot-bellied bellied dwarf. He was so short his chin would have been underwater and in the shallow end of any swimming pool in the world. His food was donuts and goose livers. He smashed the livers into a disgusting paste then stuffed the paste with the donuts. This diet gave him a tummy ache and a beastly temper. Thank you for listening to me read, and if you want to find out more about this story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Drew Walker, and I'm going to read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The villagers of Little Hingleton still called it the Riddle House, even though it had been many years since the Riddles family had lived there. It stood on the hill overlooking the village. Some of the windows boarded, tiles missing from the roof, and ivy spreading unsheathed over its face. Once a fine-looking mare and easily the largest and grandest building for miles around, the Riddle House was now damp, derelict, and unoccupied. The little Hanglins all agreed that the old house was creepy. Half a century ago, some strange and horrible had happened. Sometimes that the older inhabitants of the village still liked to discuss when topics of gossip and scares. The story had been picked over many times and had been embroidered in so many places.
that no one was quite sure what the truth was anymore. Every version of the tale, however, started in the same place. If you want to learn the rest, what happens in this book, check it out at your local library.
Hi, I'm Anna Daggett, and I'm going to read the last of the really great Wendigos. It was a crisp, sunny October afternoon, and Benjamin, Thomas, and Melinda Potter were visiting the Bramblewood Zoo. They hadn't particularly wanted to visit the zoo, but Mrs. Potter had been very firm about it. Daddy has been working extremely hard, she had said, and I think he needs an afternoon of peace and quiet. Here's some money. I suggest you go to the zoo. There was no arguing with Mrs. Potter in this mood, so the three children had doubtfully taken the bus from the stop at the corner of their street and had ridden through the pretty university town of Bramblewood as far as the zoo. Although it was the end of October and very cold, the sun was shining brightly from an unusually clear sky. Only a few clouds on the horizon gave a hint of possible rain. Late autumn leaves blew along the pavement and rolled in through the main gates of the zoo, as if inviting the children to follow. On this lovely Sunday, the place was crowded with visitors, and there were popcorn sellers, balloon vendors, and a man pushing a yellow cart piled high with toys. Children yelled happily as they scampered to their rides and to the animal cages. In spite of their early reluctance to venture out, Benjamin, Thomas, and Lindy had to admit, now that they were there, the zoo didn't seem a bad place to visit at all. I want to see the tigers, Tom announced. I want to see the donkeys and the ducks, countered Lindy. Donkeys and ducks, Tom scoffed. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to find out how the story ends, check it out at your local library. My name is Alexa Smith, and I wrote this story, and this story is The Three Little Foals and the Big Bad Sheepdog. Once upon a time, 3 little foals were born in the forest. There was a farm nearby at 104 7339 on Highway 5004, Aston 972-9745. And they got a sheepdog. The dog was on duty the next day, but the little foals didn't know, so they played nearby. Their names were Sassy, Cutie, and Lightning. Cutie said, "Where is Lightning, Sassy?" "I don't know," Cutie said. Sassy, "Lightning, Lightning," they called. "Cutie, did you hear that? Rustling in the bushes?" Sassy asked. "Yes, Sassy, I did," Cutie replied so soft. Sassy whispered to Cutie, "That must be Lightning. Let's scare him." "Okay, Cutie," snickered. On 3, Sassy counted. 1, 2, 3. Boo, they screamed. "Bark, bark, bark," they heard from the bush. "Run," screamed Cutie. "It's a black and white monster," panted Sassy in fright. "Help, help, help," Cutie cried. "Bark, bark," they heard again from the dog. "I will take you to the farm and he will give me a big bone," barked the sheepdog. Lightning dashed out of hiding to the girls. "Hey, sheepdog, I saw a bone in the bush," Lightning Light phone. Thank you for listening to my read.
What's cool?
Reading!
Where do you go to school?
Deer Creek!
And what grade are you in?
4th